welcome to another episode of The Flank, man. I'm joined by Patrick Price, a.k.a. Aches. We got Chris Duarte, a.k.a. Parasite. And, of course, we got the one and only Ben J. Nassim with a special guest sitting right next to him. Ben, why don't you introduce him?
I mean, does he need to be introduced? I mean, it's Thanos.
You don't really need to introduce him. Everybody knows Thanos. It's
Slasher.
Slasher.
Why you set me up like that?
I mean, Ben, I thought maybe you could, hand it over since you are going to be the host for today's show. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Tom. It's been a long day. Matches were not that long, but it's been a long day over here in the Atlanta Faze headquarters. We had some fun. We made s'mores at one point tonight.
Nice.
They've got a fire pit. It's pretty sick. And, yeah, I mean, excited to get in the matches. Chris and Pat, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. The under hit on all three of the DoorDash challenges for every series. So it's a good day if you if you were betting the under on the DoorDash challenge. Shout out to all the CDL teams, but also a special shout out to the Toronto Ultra for just absolutely taking Optic out back in record time. I'm glad you guys just decide to say, hey, look, we're back. Y'all ain't shit, and that was typical series out of Ernie and the boys.
Pat, we haven't even gone to that series yet. I think Pat just likes. I think he likes Optic a little bit. What do you guys think? You think he likes Optic a little bit?
His favorite team for sure.
I think he we haven't even started the series yet.
Did y'all see my tweet from I think it was like 3 days ago? I had just I got curious. I had just gotten curious a little bit, so I went on my Reddit just to check out my profile.
Right.
And I totally forgot back in the day when I'd knock teams out of tournaments and then go do AMAs on their subreddit. And I took a screenshot of doing one of the Optic.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. This guy's
You're
nuts.
actually hilarious.
This guy's a moron.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do we mean?
You're just funny.
It's
You're
hilarious.
a funny guy, Pat. You're a funny guy. It's all
Okay,
it is.
I appreciate it.
But let's get into the show a little bit. Obviously, today I had some problems with. I had just had a lot of technical difficulties. I'm not in my usual setup. I'm in a studio right now. We're doing some cool things tonight. We're promoting the new movie Creed. So make sure to check that out. But Ben is gonna jog through the gameplay in this episode. He was here for the whole day.
Do we want to start with before we go to the games? Do you want to talk about the LG thing?
Yeah, I think we should. The Los Angeles Guerrillas, also known as the Guard, right? That's the back end company, Ben.
So it's they basically start off with the two teams, and then they made this Guard brand to start getting into other esports. And their parent company is Cronky Sports Entertainment, who are a family that own a lot of sports teams. They own Arsenal Football Club, the Rams, a bunch of sports teams in Colorado. And yeah, do you want to dive in, Tom, on what happened with their organization over the week?
Well, it comes to my understanding that I guess they wiped everybody, they laid everybody off, and they're looking to sell the spot. From what I've heard, they're just looking to probably just get out of esports and maybe try and get a return on their investment because they're probably just losing a lot of money. I mean, Pat, what are your initial thoughts about all this?
This is just what happens, Tom, when you hire horrible leadership to run the teams. As simple as that. Obviously, esports is currently in a rough state. In terms of looking at ROI and things like that. But I mean, listen, hey, I've been calling it for years now. Obviously, we know the actual owners are very hands off in this process, and that's unfortunate. I just think this is what happens when leadership is not equipped to run these teams, and we kind of look where we are now. I do feel really bad though for some of the people employed on the Guard though, because they stated that they were required and forced to move out and relocate to LA as recent of just in January. That's a month and a half ago. And obviously got laid off after signing year plus long leases. And now have to deal with that when they were obviously required to move out there. So that's super unfortunate and super shitty. So I hope everyone who is in that situation turns out all right. But yeah, I mean, just back to the situation, I just think they're pulling the plug on esports as a whole. Probably looking at it like a failed project, or at least a project that they thought they were going to get different results out of. So yeah,
I think they might have invested too much money too early on. I mean, most of these esports teams have done that. They just, especially with the $25 million buy-ins, it's just they're way too high. The buy-ins are way too high from the return that you're getting, especially at the rate that it's going.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would agree with that though. I think the owners had great intentions. Truthfully, I think I'm not going to say their names, but the owners involved had great intentions and wanted this to be something.
Yeah.
I just think they could have made better decisions early on with the structuring of the front office and things like that to be in a better position.
I'm not denying that. I just think if you look at probably most of the teams in the CDL, I mean, they're none of them are profiting. There's no way. They're all probably losing hella cash.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Tom, I think that esports as a whole, at least, dude, some of the numbers in Call of Duty, listen, as much as it's great for the players and the people working in these industries, I think some of the amount that people are paid is fucking ludicrous for what they actually do. Yeah, a lot of like players, for example. Players, for example, like it's obviously your job to practice and your job to show up on main stage and do that stuff. But like outside of that, like a lot of these players like that still have not even like attempted to build themselves a brand or a following. And like, granted, that's not your job as like a professional player exclusively. Like there are things that you can do to make yourself more desirable, more attractive to brands and stuff like that to help you, your organizations, the industry as a whole. And I think in general, people are just spending way too much money, not only on salaries, but other things. Like it's crazy to me. I think the numbers that we've hit.
I think it's just spending way too much money on the wrong people.
Yeah, and then a whole bunch of like useless positions and stuff like that. Like I think a lot of organizations have a lot of expendable jobs, I guess, or like people.
Let's speak on that. First off, on the 25 million, and we've talked about this before in the show. You know, that was obviously the franchise fee, but I don't know if any of the orgs, at least on the CDL side, have paid that because remember the league started, COVID hit, everybody deferred those payments. I don't know if they've actually started the first round of those.
No, they started, I thought, but I'm pretty sure they started the first round. I'm almost positive.
They started the first round.
Not all of it, but
last year.
They don't just drop 25 million, is what you're saying.
It's a payment structure. So there's that. That's not a full 25 million sunk cost, at least at the moment. And I agree with Pat. Like, you know, look, player salaries are definitely high. I think they're inflated a decent percentage. I think Nate Schott talked about this in a recent podcast and kind of went in depth on this topic, if you're curious. But I agree on other personnel supporting the business. Finding other revenue streams or just general business functions, cost centers. I think some of these orgs got too many people or people that weren't good at their jobs and were paying people way too much. So in the case of LAG, I think the organization grew really, really quickly. You know, they went from having a COD and Overwatch team to spending a lot of money in Apex. I think they spent a lot of money in Val. They tried to get a franchise spot. That didn't work out. I think they still had, at least this point where they still have a Valorant team. So just kind of maybe growing a little bit too quick. And based on the timing and the response of how fast this happened, my guess is this is sort of a very sudden piece of news because there were people moving from the org as soon as like a couple of days ago. And, you know, we all probably saw that Ariel tweet. Like, I feel bad for people that are stuck down on leases because they assumed they were going to have somewhere to work.
Yeah.
At least for the last year, next year or plus.
Also, I apologize for shouting. I can't hear myself on this microphone where I'm at, so my bad. I was screaming.
Sound good.
I was screaming for the first half of the show. But yeah, I'm curious as to what exactly happens to the spot at the end of the year. Like what happens
if they can't find a buyer?
What if they can't find a buyer? What happens to the spot?
So let's speak on this. So the big kind of wild card in this whole thing is the merger between Microsoft and Activision, because no one really knows what's on the other side of that cliff in regards to esports. In terms of the publisher side, I assume they're still going to support, but you know, I don't know. None of us have seen the league charter. We don't know what the governance structure is like for the org. What happens in a situation like this? Or the organizations who sign that deal, sign that charter, required to field a team. So you can't necessarily exit if no one wants to buy it. You're required by contract to do that. And what are the penalties if you don't do that? I don't think any of us know the answers to that. There was an Esports Observer article that said, yes, via one source, that they may just close the teams, but that's super vague. We don't know what that means. I do think for the players on the team that sign longer-term deals, you know, people like Alec, A.K. Arcedes, like, you know, his future beyond this year is probably different in question. So I think we're going to learn more over time, but I don't think this is sort of the end of the saga. And I don't know if they're necessarily going to be able to get out of those spots unless they find some buyer in the next few months.
I think in general that Call of Duty as an esport kind of grew too quickly. I think transitioning to franchising was probably a terrible idea. I think we were on a steady stream of growth before it. And then with the whole like franchising change, it changed everything, dude. And I feel like if we went back to a structure and kind of like, I feel like it would be so hard to do. Like, for example, like lowering, like having a like teams and stuff, lower salaries. Like nobody's going to want to do that because obviously you lose competition when it comes to like gaining players or retaining players, et cetera, et cetera. But like, I think as a whole, esports or at least Call of Duty needs to like scale back like pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, COVID didn't help either. You know, COVID really stunted a lot of that stuff and stunted a lot of the events. And I mean, we were the first year we were supposed to be traveling everywhere. We were supposed to go to Europe like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah,
so-
but that schedule was respectfully that schedule was not that good. That's why they changed it pretty quickly. Like people flying out for one match. The 12 stops was this world tour idea, which is interesting, but I don't think economically it made any sense.
Yep.
But Austin, were you going to say something?
Yeah, give it to Austin.
I was just gonna say, like, to speak on it a little bit. I think some of these companies didn't hire people who knew the space. Like, I think they brought this like sports approach to it, which maybe they should have blended it with some people who knew the esports space, like specifically, because it's different than traditional sports. And I think just trying to make it traditional sports is like the wrong approach. And then I also think you guys are saying about profitability, like realistically, this is not going to be profitable for a while. I feel like you're taking a gamble, you're making an investment, and you can't expect to be making a profit at this point. If you're making a profit at this point, then kudos to you. You're killing it. I don't know how you're going to be able to do that. And then even speaking about like the player salaries things, like, yeah, maybe it's inflated, but the thing is like these teams are going to want to win. So they're going to run the price up. And that's kind of what happened in year one. So I mean, maybe they go down a little bit, but there's still going to be teams like these top tier teams that are going to want to win and put wins on the board. So they're going to run that price up again. And so I don't really see I don't personally know how to make it profitable, especially with like some of the things going on now. I mean, that's not my side of things. Like I definitely know esports better than some of these people, but I just think that the approach they took at the beginning and like some of the hires and stuff like that, they should have got some extra people in there who knew the space and could like figure out how to make some sort of profit. Like you see like 100 Thieves, Optic, these teams that like are making, I don't know the full logistics of the company, but like Thieves is doing really well on like merchandise and stuff like that. Like you need to have other stuff besides just the team and some content pieces. Like that's not good enough.
And people were getting on their ass, like calling LA Thieves like a hoodie or right, like 100 Thieves and calling them like a hoodie org and stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, these organizations got to make money somehow. At least building their brand and being able to do cool stuff like that, you get some sort of profit. But not a lot of organizations have that power, you know, Austin. Like a lot of people don't have the power or don't have the brands to do stuff like that. So
that's the issue, though. It just grew too quick. Like, yeah, it's an investment, Austin. I agree with you, but they're investing too much too quickly.
Oh, I wouldn't disagree with you there. I mean, I don't remember what my original take was on franchising, but I think I was unsure. But I don't know. There's just so many problems coming with like this like sports philosophy or approach to it. Like we're not the NBA. We're not like MLB. Like we're our own thing, and we have to keep it that way and like, you know, go our own direction.
Right.
Let's put a pin in this. I would love to, and I think I'm going to try and reach out to some people in front offices and see if they want to speak on this issue. But we should move over and. I don't think anything else starts. We start talking about matches.
Yep, let's hop into the matches. We got Atlanta Faze going up against London, Hotel Hardpoint, El Asilo, S&D, Hotel Control Fortress, Hardpoint, Mercado, Search and Destroy. Every match today was a 3-0. It's probably one of the quickest days we had in COD. Also, one of the most boring. I think this was probably the closest match we had today. Obviously, it was still a 3-0, but a couple of matches are pretty close, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, we'll kick it off. I don't know if you guys' initial thoughts were on this first map. It actually went down to the last couple of hills, and I'll kind of skip forward to the second rotation. But Chris and Tom, I don't know which one of you guys are going to want to go first and talk about, once again, London losing on a snake pit hill.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, this is where I was having technical difficulties, Ben, so I'll let you kind of take the floor with this one. I was able to tune in for the second S&D, but I was struggling heavy during this first match, so you're going to have to break it down for me, Ben J. You're going to have to break it down. Show me where things went wrong. Yeah,
I mean, it was a pretty mixy first rotation. I kind of just skipped through it, chat, but it was pretty even off the break, and then Faze is going to start getting some P2 time, and they're going to kind of trade hills. I think in general for this series, as we kind of skip through this map, I think really what came down to it was this was a 3-0, but I don't think it tells the full story of what happened in the series. Austin, I know obviously you played through it. Do you feel like you had mentioned on the watch party? Do you feel like you guys played down a little to London? Do you kind of still stand by that?
Yeah, I would say like I think we played down a little bit. I think Hardpoint. I mean, it's something we've obviously been working on and talking about. We had like a long discussion even after the match for like 20 or 30 minutes talking about some of the things we've been doing. And I had even been noticing some of the trends recently in practice and had voiced my opinion on that. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but we just have some things where I think we can be a little bit more aggressive sometimes with our kills because we're like our holding percentage is kind of low, but that's not because we're not getting the hill. It's because we're not relieving enough pressure sometimes with our kills and like making it to where they're staggered or like spawning out as far as possible. So like that's why this map was so close. And then honestly too, I think people give London a lot of crap, but I think a lot of their matches have been somewhat close. I want to say like the map wise.
Yeah, the last couple I have. Yeah.
So they're not like a bad team by any means. Like obviously they're not putting on a ton of wins on the board, but like the 12th place team nowadays is still like usually not just you don't just come in and walk all over them.
They also have negative ice though.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. But if you're making every map close, you're definitely like a good team. Just not having ice is like
right. But we talked about this with like Florida as well. Like, what does it really mean to make every map close if you can never get the job done? Like, does that hold any credibility? To me, it's like, congrats, you made the map close. You still are losing every series.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I completely agree too. I'm just saying like. I think people, when they look at this London team, think you're just going to come in and win 250 to 100, 6-0. Yeah. Like that's usually not the case. Yeah. Like, yeah, they're not icing up and winning matches. So like, they're still obviously not good, but you're not just going to walk all over them.
I think people that watch or people that watch or maybe don't play like competitively at a super high level don't really understand like in this type of Call of Duty, like, because it was the same thing in like MW, like the original. Like, you're not going to just blow teams out by like 1,000,000 points. If that's happening, they are making some like fatal flaws. When games are close, that's telling you that both teams are kind of like doing what they need to do in their advantageous situations. Because in this game, for example, like when you're talking about like, oh, we're not like creating enough space, it's a lot harder than it is. Like than like just saying it. Like it matters with the timing of kills. It matters like with the whole sound meta, it's like, yeah, you're going to go out and you're going to push out and you're going to try to like get to these advantageous spots. But like, if they beat you to these spots and they hear you coming, like there's only so many you can do or so many things you can do with how little like the skill gap is. So like, there's just so much more that goes into the actual game.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not as simple as like, oh, they're a bad team, you're going to win by 3 million points. Like it's not that easy.
But I think too, and this is one point I brought up to my team about the whole like sound meta and stuff like that right now. Like, I think it's in a lot of players' heads and it's causing people to play a little differently. And like, obviously you want to win these online matches, but you can't get caught into the trap of like being worried about being sound hoard every single time you make a play, especially when you're holding a hill. Like if you push out and you get sound hoard and they kill you, okay, cool. You spawn close in the back. Like it is what it is, but don't shy away from making the aggressive play just because people are running this setting.
Well, that's a great segue because I wanted to talk about this one of the last hills of the map.
Looked like London over challenged here. Play it through.
So the way this played out is you'll see number 6 is going to cut through middle. Number 6 being Simp, and he's actually going to kill the guy on the pinch. So he's going to make this kitchen play. I think, and I'm curious you guys' thoughts. Asim had pushed out one side here, and he actually gave it up and got shot in the back. Do you think he just got bad timing, or think he probably should have kept holding deaths there and try to buy?
Nobody has middle. That's why Asim did that, because I guess the guy died on a pinch. Tank died out in middle catwalk. And then Asim was forced to pick up mid-alley. You know, a lot of teams like to break through middle. So it might have just been bad timing, but, I mean, he needs to try and just put himself in a better position there. If anything, just play tight because you're on that hill where you can snake up and down. Even if somebody's coming up behind you, you just hit a tornado snake. I can't believe I'm saying that, but you just hit it. Also, you know what I'm talking about? Like you just stay on the hill and you just snake up and down and you just like you kind of watch everything, you know?
That's
maybe
also
play a little tighter.
I think if you watch a lot of teams on this hill, they do play a tight setup and just rely on snaking and stuff like that. But some teams don't really push out where, like, I killed Asim right here. Like, they'll just sometimes let you have it. And also, you can't really spawn them out that much farther than where I'm at kind of right now, like the clock area.
So I think this situation was an interesting one. Again, this happened so quick is like, to your point about snaking. So obviously Asim dies. The guy dies on the pinch. Faze starting to collapse. I feel like number 1, number 2 in this situation, maybe a little bit nitpicky. Maybe number 1 should be watching outer here, and number 2 should be the one watching wine cut. Because unfortunately for number 2, just going to get killed in this wide shot here on no heady, and then he's just going to get collapsed on a hill, Paul, and then the break just happens.
Is this where they closed it?
It's pretty much where they close it. Faye's is going to get a lot of seconds here. We'll just kind of watch it out, and then it kind of goes from there. But I think, once again, to your earlier point, I think them getting caught in transition in middle, they just didn't play the 3v4 correctly or in a way where they could try and get some multiple pieces.
Because there's just multiple ways you can play it. Like it's a double-edged sword, right? It's like sure, you want to push out, but like at the same time, if you push out, you leave yourself to like you prone to getting isolated, right? And then if you don't push out and you decide to play tight, that means one wave you're wiped. So like there's two ways of playing it. Each one has its own risks, and it's just kind of like whatever the hell like you want to do in that situation, and you just try to put yourself in the best situations. It's not as easy as it looks. There's no one real way to play it. You can play it either way.
Speaking of situations, by the way, I know this is like somewhat readable now, but like, bro, like I don't understand. This game is just such a weird, weird thing with this game about the spawns, where people just like in that situation, it was a 2v0 basically. And then why doesn't everybody on London just spawn on the same side of the map or the same point? Why is number 2 and number 3 which spawn instantly? Why are they just spawning in different spots of the map? Now I know that this has become a very readable situation. You guys have played the game.
Let it play, man. Let it play out.
Yeah.
You keep pausing. It's giving me a headache. Just let it play out and see what happens here. So you guys sniffed him out. That's a good play to you guys.
Oh, yeah, we're worried about this because it's cost us in previous matches and also in scrims and stuff like that. Like, we've learned to read the Fugaze, but, like, it's still really hard. Like, the problem is the Fugaze happens sometimes, and you're like, oh, it could happen. And then other times you'll be like, oh, it could happen, and then it didn't happen. So you're playing for it, and there's nobody there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, you're constantly like, bro, it's almost like you have anxiety when you spawn these spots. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, like, what was that?
Isn't it one of those like feeling type things? Like I don't know. Like you definitely you play the game fucking all day just like I do. It gets to a point where like the timing of like certain kills, you like get like one staggered kill with like a spawn gift up, and you're like, yo, this guy's gonna spawn behind us, but the rest won't, and like you just kind of like know it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of been like that, where I learn off like repetition and feelings. Obviously, I can analyze the game, like break it down too, but I learn the most from playing. So when you get into these situations, you've been in it before, so you're like, oh, this might happen.
Yeah,
but like I know in Control, for instance, in Control, I'm convinced that there's certain things that are random, like about the spawns, and you'll be in the same situation twice, and you'll have the feeling, but then it won't happen one time, and it will another, and it's so hard to deal with in the game.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. Whoa, there. Scoreboard here. No one super frying. I mean, kills were pretty even. I think Faze got slayed by 1 kill. Looks like based on the math. Yeah, by like 1 kill.
Yeah, you guys
so
did get outslayed.
Yeah.
Barely got outslayed.
I mean, whatever. 1 kill.
But overall, an exciting first map. I saw this like, okay, London came to play today. And then we got to a Mixie Asila search. Austin, I know you and I were talking about before. I want to start with you. I know that Nameless tweeted about it. Did you feel like they kind of watched a lot of VOD guys and tried to sort of hard counter some of your guys' playstyles on this map?
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to definitely play around what we're doing, and we honestly we like recognized that and identified it like really early. But the thing that's so good about our search right now is like all of us can like have kind of like our plays to like make stuff happen. Obviously Abizi is usually that guy, like first bloods and stuff like that, but I have my ways of doing it. Chris has his ways, and so does MC. So it's really hard to like hard counter, because like I noticed they were playing for me a lot, like early. Like you see me like right here, like I just ran away, like, and I told them they were flanking. So that I recognized it really early. It just they strung together like a couple rounds against us and made it really close. And then obviously I think too, I mean, I said in the interview, the sound stuff is just so ridiculous. You have to crouch, walk around.
I'm actually curious, and I know I asked you this last time. Do you think the number of people using it has gone up?
Yeah.
Like, do you think people
I
are just
think
like
it went back. I think it went up
every
again.
day?
Yeah, I think it went back up. I think when we came back, I think maybe half the league took it off. They were like, maybe like, oh, it's banned on land, like we shouldn't use it. And then I think as these matches are coming around and people are like on edge now, and they're like,
that's crazy.
Oh, like we have to turn it on to make winners bracket. Yeah, it is
that's
ridiculous.
Crazy. You can't even trust people knowing that everyone knows they can't use it when they go to LAN in 2 weeks. They're still gonna do it now. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually banned on LAN. Like it's like people are talking about, oh, GA, bro, it is banned on LAN. Legit banned. Like we should.
It doesn't even work. It doesn't even work.
Yeah. So
that's
Sarah,
so dumb.
It is dumb, and we talked about it in past episodes. I know, Austin, you've talked about sort of your solutions to it. I think, this is one of those areas where I think the league needs to step in and help out. But getting back to the map, this is a pretty back and forth map. I've skipped to the 5th round here, which I thought was a pretty good retake from London. Again, talking about sort of how they've been playing, plays off the pinch here. Some funky timings go down in the actual warehouse itself, and unfortunately for Faze, MC's going to be the last one up. And we were talking about this earlier on the watch party, that in these 1v2 situations where you're bombed down and you kind of plant for a top catwalk, like everybody's watching now. So I wonder if maybe the meta is going to evolve a little bit on this map, and people are going to try and check from bottom house for pool or something. Because you see for MC here, they're just reading, bro. Everybody
Well, the
knows
good thing
now.
about even playing for top though is like you can see it from a lot of different spots too. So you could still plan it for top and check from like bottom mid and stuff like that to throw people off.
Nah, MC trolled that. He should have hit the usual snake right there. It's a free dub. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a round
true.
probably, Austin, that you guys should win right there, in my opinion. You got
I honestly
bombed down,
thought he
10
was
seconds
gonna
left.
win it. Yeah, I thought he was gonna win it, to be honest.
Good play by London. It's good reads out of them to pick MC out there. Because MC does go up there a lot. So they're definitely watching some film. Go ahead, Ben.
So we get to the next round. We're just getting through a couple of these rounds here. So Abizi gets kind of overheats a little bit, overchells. But Faze actually ended up winning this round. They make a bunch of plays on the around the bomb. Chris gets one. He's actually going to get another as well. And this is a good example, I think, Austin, of how you guys do a really good job of playing off of info, and why I think even with people trying to counter Abizi and Simp, the reason you guys are so good at this map is because your subs are really good at finessing around this bomb site. And Chris is going to do numbers here. You end up getting one, Austin, because, again, Chris is being annoying on the site. And then the last guy's going to jump down. I'm just trying to fast forward because it's a little bit funky.
Just let it play,
You're
man.
to watch
Just let it
together, and you guys will go ahead and win the round. Sorry, just the watch together fucking jog sucks.
Let it play. But the watch together is probably weird too. So
Bro, it's really weird. So anyway, that's that round. I'm going to skip to round 9. This is a funky 1v1 that happened in round 9.
funky. That's his favorite word today. It's pretty funky, huh, Ben?
Yeah, it's a funky one.
I like that. Let's take a look.
So
Look
round
at
9.
Tank. Look at that form from Tank. Look at that form.
Good form from Tank. We're going to skip to right here. So then the hit's going to start to come through. They're going to push through fucking barrels. 1 goes down. 2 goes down. This actually, I think, goes down to a 1v1 unless I picked the wrong round. Pretty sure this one goes for 1v1. Anyway, just a lot of mixing in this map that did end up going the difference and the distance here. I'm trying to jog. The problem, bro, is I can't jog. It overskips, which is like I have to like
You're good, Ben. Ignore the chat. You're doing a great job, bro.
So.
Like you don't do this every day. You know I've been doing it for a while, so you're doing a good job. Oh my God, who got shanked up?
That was MC getting shanked up, unfortunately.
That was so unfortunate.
That was unfortunate there. And then we go to the round 11, Ben. I want to see what Abizi did because he just went absolutely nuts, didn't he?
Yeah, let me skip ahead to round 11 here. Round 11.
I don't know how he was able to do this because he clutched up here the last week as well, didn't he? He clutched up here against LA Thieves. Remember on land?
That was at the major,
That was at the major.
Major.
Clutch
Yeah.
1v2, yeah. So
that was when he saved Austin's career.
Yeah, and then he does it again.
No.
But go ahead, Ben. I'll let you take the floor here.
Nah, so this is a pretty standard bomb down situation. Chris is gonna go hide behind the desk. London's gonna do the double pincher, and they actually catch out Austin, catch you out bottom green. But you're gonna see Abizi, who is number 7 on your map, kind of playing that sort of alley spot again, the same spot that he clutched in against Thieves. Watch the plays that he makes in this round to go ahead and win a situation you probably shouldn't have won.
So Asa makes a good play, uses attack to 1v3 Abizi. Asa maybe overshot a little bit there. I mean, I just feel like right there in a 2v1, Asa should chill. Give it a second, body up with a teammate. What the hell happened? You rewind it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep talking.
I was gonna say maybe right there, London rushed it a little bit. They still had some time on the clock. Asa made the initial play where he threw the stun down, gets rid of MC, good plays. Now right here, 3v1 situation. They know where the last guy is. It goes to a 2v1. Asam should slow down a little bit there.
But it also looked like maybe they didn't know. Like Nasty was preeming like their side bottom mid for a second.
No red dots. Maybe the red
they
dots
didn't
got
know
him
exactly
tweaked.
where. Like watch him go through the screen. Like look at him.
No, he got team shot. Okay, so I think I know what happened is Chris and Tyler shot him together, and I don't think he saw it in time where Tyler was. Maybe he knew where Chris was because he's on the bomb. That's maybe what happened to. Because you see number 6, number 7 are gonna pretty much engage the same guy at the same time here.
Yeah, no, that was
Like
interesting.
his body,
Asam gets one. Maybe.
Like
Yeah. Oh
might
yeah.
have thought he was in bomb for a
Yeah,
second.
Nasty was like looking around mid and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
They didn't know where he was. And then right here, obviously, there's not even a lot of time left on the clock. And Abizi gets the 1v3. Good plays. They end up going up 2-0. And this is kind of around where I started tuning in, Ben. And we can take a look at the final scoreboard here. 9-7 from Abizi. Another great map out of him. And Search. Everybody pulling their weight from the Atlanta Faze boys. And a nasty 10-7, but wasn't enough. This was a really good map. Super back and forth. Big clutch plays from Abizi. He's been really, really good for you guys, Austin. He's been on point.
Right, he's been unreal.
Austin, they hard watch VOD on you. They were hunting you in the
Oh,
back
I know,
spawn.
I know. I literally said it like after the first or second round.
They double sent a guy to the backfield
like,
in close junk. What the hell?
There was another team who did that too recently, and I knew beforehand that they were gonna do that, and I switched up just a little bit of what I'm not gonna say which team it was, but I switched up just a little bit of what I did, and I had like a crazy map versus them. So like, there's like things like I don't know, like we're ready for most teams to be watching what we're doing, especially now in S&D. So like, we're gonna have like some different looks and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to adapt and maybe change some things up. But I mean, I feel like that's sometimes a good thing when people are watching your film, because now you have the power to adapt and change things up and you know, kind of catch them off guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes they'll overthink it too, and like be so worried about what you're doing and forget like what their plan is, or like sticking to what works for them.
Right.
And then also like if you do switch it up on them early, then they start to be like, oh crap, what the hell, they're not doing the normal stuff. So then it could be like mind games in a sense.
Then I love the play from you, Austin, here, just getting that kill over by Jules and just hitting this out. I mean, granted, your whole team died, but if they gave you a second there, you might have been able to maybe make a play there.
Yeah.
And kill those last two guys if nobody gets clean wiped there. But, Ben, tell everybody a little bit about what happened in this one.
Yeah, I mean, Faye's going to get a couple of ticks on B to open up this map. They're going to actually end up getting 2 here on the stack where they collapse these guys. But I don't think you guys end up getting a trophy down. I think London actually throws some nades and get some kills. And it's bad. There's going to be a couple more situations after this, but I'm going to kind of skip through them because you guys don't end up actually catching this B point. We get a couple of ticks, but you get 4. Not too bad. And I think really the story of this map, when I kind of got to the end, is just you guys kind of clutching up in that round 5, giving up the 8 point, but just kind of having a solid B hold. And yeah, I mean, Austin, I think you've talked about this map and control can be sometimes kind of 50-50. Do you feel like you guys' control game is in a good spot right now? You still have stuff to work on?
I think our control, I mean, obviously there's always things to work on, but I think I was talking to you earlier, I think we're on your stream when I was saying that losing some of the online matches in the last split was really good for us. I think I was terrible at control in the online matches when the sound stuff first came out. And I was talking to my team about it, saying like how uncomfortable I was playing this weird like island roll going to block spawns at B every time, and I'm like, bro, this just feels so wrong. And we like talked it out, worked on it, and then I think that's what allowed us to go into the major and be so good at it, because I completely switched up how I was playing, and I feel way more comfortable in control now. And I mean, I think I played really well on this map too. So I think our control overall is in a really, really good spot.
Hey, strapped on dead silence and stopped running a trophy. There's no point. There's no point running on the defensive
on
round.
defense, there isn't.
Can't sound harm me now, baby. Can't sound harm me now.
Show off the Deddy and go make a play, bro.
Dude.
I had the same feeling, or I had the same like thing happen to me, so I know the feeling for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like even on this map too. Well, control in general, I feel like offense is so heavy now. Like teams are really good at just winning offenses now.
On a hotel, it's like we looked up, it was like close to 60%. I think
this map is an offensive side of map.
The other two maps are not way less than 50, but this one is like this one's become very offensive sided. The unfortunate thing again about control is even on an offensive sided map, round 5 you're still going to get defense if you got the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So no ability to choose. But even in that case, you guys do end up actually getting that one extra tick you got in the first round after you guys trade offensive wins. You guys end up having to get defense, but you do hold in for the last round for the dub.
That's the thing about. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say.
You go.
I was gonna say, I think this map is offensive sided, but I think it's skewed. I think teams are gonna get a lot better at their defenses, just because I've noticed a lot more teams start playing mid. I think prior to like recent splits, people have been playing bed a lot more instead of like taking mid map control. I think mid map control on this map is a lot better than just having bed, because it allows you to not only wrap back through couches to like support the player bed when you lose it, or you can just instantly make plays on their flank. I think I've noticed a lot more teams trying to play around mid on their defensive ends, and it's been transitioning to a lot more success on the defenses. I think before it was just go bed, but like if you're just leaving so much map control open that the team can just abuse that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then this was actually a round that I was able to catch. I felt like you guys just do a really good job just playing your life, playing kills, letting the clock drain out. I mean, if you stay ahead of the game on defense and you get pushed up and you catch yourself in a rhythm, yeah, I mean, you can really pin teams back, man. I mean, London was in a blender here. especially when you have MC chilling double dash, just absolutely snaking the hell out of it.
Yep. So yeah,
Faze did a good
go
job
ahead.
here. No,
Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
All good. I mean, so this is the last map, so I just wanted to know, like, if you guys had any final thoughts on the series. You kind of watch at this last round closer than a 3-0. Maybe London should have been good value to win one of these maps.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can argue London should have been able to win a lot of maps, not just in this series, just in general.
At least
they don't have that ice factor, that clutch factor to them right now. And I definitely think that changes between the top teams and the teams at the bottom. It's that clutch factor. It's those tense moments where you need to make a play or you need to play smart. It just seems like they have brain farts at times. So I'm just, London, they're going to have to figure it out. They're one of those teams that didn't change through, all the lows that they've been going through. So we'll see what ends up happening with them moving forward. But I'm not surprised by the result today.
And
no,
even if they won a map, they weren't winning this series. Like I don't even care if they didn't win a close map, because I had zero faith they would win the series. Period. But Faze does now hold the longest win streak for Hardpoint, S&D, and Dom, if we're counting Modern Warfare and CDL. But they're third highest, tied for Control. So Austin, you need to get your Control win streak up. So Faze can have the longest win streak in every mode.
We have the highest S&D streak, or are we tied with LAG team right now? I thought we were tied.
I believe you just passed them.
What was the streak? Wasn't it 13 or 12 or something? What was it?
I think it was 12.
12?
I want to say it was 12.
So I have the number 1 and number 2 spot then, huh? That's what you're saying?
Oh no, you're tied. You're tied at 10. You're tied at 10. Sorry.
You're not that good, bro.
S&D mastermind, baby.
You're
I've been saying it.
You're tied at 10. You're tied at 10. You haven't passed it yet.
Oh, okay, we're tied. Oh shit. Let me focus up tomorrow.
One off.
You're not slick, bro. You're playing late pitches in the flank, bro. Like,
it's a good play. It's a good play.
So, final question. So, one thing, first off, we didn't talk about in this series. There's two things. One is, while watching dude, Nasty actually is running an AR in this series, and Paul was running a sub. So, an interesting adaptation for London. Obviously, they didn't win these maps, but I thought Nasty had a good day. So, we'll see sticking forward with that if they run that. And then Austin, obviously, next for you guys is Vegas tomorrow. First off, you letting Dom play at the facility? Like, what's the deal with that?
I think he is gonna play here tomorrow, so that'll be interesting.
That'll be funny.
He's gonna use our own net against us, man. I can't believe it.
Maybe a little chirping. Can you hear him through the walls? You guys could chirp each other?
No, I think we usually close our doors so you can't really hear him. But
okay.
I mean, we'll see him before and after the match. So we'll probably mess with him a little bit. But yeah, I mean, looking forward to that match. Hopefully, we come out strong again, take that one home, and set ourselves up for winners bracket.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to predictions at the end of it. But, Ben, let's move on to the next one. Let's see what's going on in the next matchup. We got Optic Texas going up against Toronto Ultra. We got a Hotel Hardpoint, Fortress S&D, Hotel Control, Fortress Hardpoint, Embassy Search, and Destroy. This was another 3-0. I'll let you guys get into the vetoes. I mean, my initial thoughts on the series. And listen, man, I see people that are like, he says the same thing every time, this and that. But it is the same problem every single time, at least in my opinion. I don't know what you guys feel, but with Optic Texas, man, it's just no teamwork, man. It's just solo chows. Maybe they have the ranked play cheese where, like, they're just running at people. But, I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong to say this?
You're not wrong.
No,
you're not wrong,
funny.
Tom.
I feel like Pat's been waiting to speak for this series.
Yeah,
so I
Pat
think we need to
starts
let
off.
him,
Starts off
cook a
on
little
the
bit.
series, man.
It was rough today. It was rough today.
I mean, what is there to say, guys? 5?
All right, dude. Listen, bro. Everybody has bad maps. Their teamwork is what's the problem.
No, absolutely,
You know
Tom.
what I'm
But I think what I liked about this series, Tom, was how big of a bounce back this. Honestly, this entire major has been for the Ultra. But man, do they look good? I mean, they just walked all over them.
Ultra does look really good.
Wait,
Scrappy might have had one of the best series I think I've ever seen him have. No bullshit.
He's getting comfortable. He's getting more
Has
comfortable
he had a better series?
To be fair, Pat, they have always consistently been good online. They've never really struggled online.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've also been good on land before, aside from one little three-match stretch.
Yeah, I mean the last hurdle for this team, similar to the problem that I think you guys had all said. We think that Toronto is decent enough. It's about pulling up to a weekend and we started winners and playing 3 good days of COD.
Hold on. Let's calm down. Let's not act like Optic's not also insane online. Let's bring it down a notch. Optic has always been insane online. Let's just make sure we're holding everyone accountable here.
I mean, I think just in general, like the last 2 series, like Brandon has not played up to his, or Dashy has not played up to his standards.
And why is that, Chris?
I mean, I don't know. Like,
listen, we talked about this when we talked about this roster change.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
It changes the dynamic of the team. It's just how it is. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Not saying anyone's the problem in particular, but it is true that when new players come into a system, it changes the dynamic of the team. And yeah, I mean, this is now consistently we're seeing Dashy not perform how he did. Granted, we don't know if Dashy was overperforming. He may have been, but for about a month after Seth retired, Dashy was absolutely world starring everybody in Call of Duty. Basically 1.4s on every team he played consistently. And yeah, now we're just seeing a completely different version of him. It's like back-to-back 0.7 series.
I wouldn't say consistently. That's two. It's two games.
If
it happens,
two series,
two out of two is as consistent as it
Maybe
gets.
it started when they made a change.
Because if you want to say 2 series, then you can go back to Ultra. So you said they had a little stint where it was 3 matches. We can argue small
sample size, but we can't argue consistently.
My point is, if it happens for the rest of the major split, then yeah, you have a case. But I think in general, just Dashy has not been playing good this split at all.
I may have a case.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if they do it for the rest of the split.
Chris, just because I'm early doesn't mean I'm wrong, baby.
Two series is not a big sample size.
Yeah, go ahead,
I have a
Austin.
question. I didn't get to watch this match that closely or their previous one, but after watching the match, is Ghosty a faster paced AR or a slower paced AR? Because I brought that up before. Ender might not have been the fastest AR, but he is not afraid to die a lot. And I know Brandon. I feel like Brandon is more of a main AR of a team, if that makes sense.
Ghosty, he likes to play around hill a lot. I just feel like sometimes he might overfocus the hill. But go ahead, Ben.
I think the problem also, Austin, is like they also have like their teamwork just sucks at times, and so it's hard to judge. Like, look at kind of this situation how they play off the break. Like Dan's holding middle here, so is Brandon. Brandon gives it up, and look at the time that Dan gets for this guy to get fucking side door here. Like, this setup.
Let it play out, Ben, because they get broken here. So let it play out. Let's see the build up. Let's see how it all ends up unfolding. See, one guy, it's Hook. He's gonna die back plat, and then they just all fall. They're very staggered as well on the rotation. Not really any crossfires, no setups. It's just everybody kind of pushed out, like looking at a random lane. Because this is a money hill, man. Like this is supposed to be one of the hardest hills to break. No, Austin, or am I tripping here? Isn't this one of the hardest hills to break?
It's usually pretty. Any hill on this side of the map, the snake pit side of the map, is pretty damn hard to get him out of there. So, yeah,
it's just too easy. It was just too easy for Toronto.
I think most of that came down to it's not even them in the back. I think it's Shotzi. Shotzi's out front. He takes forever to get the information that they're not even hitting it. By the time he actually gets into play, they're already through. Like he's just sitting front. It takes him forever to go back to spawn or back towards the hill. Look at him. He's number 6. He's slowly working his way back. And if anything, he should have fled towards the hill and either bumped his teammate off time or just stacked it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Agreed.
He's just sitting over there at old. And there's no one there. He shouldn't have even been there anymore.
But do you guys like Kyler pushing out plat there? Do you like that?
Yes, I don't mind it. Right. He's getting the information that they're hitting the back. Shotzi, I guess, was getting the information on that side of the map, but it just took him way too long to rotate back towards the objective, which literally gave Toronto the advantage there because they were hitting it.
Do you like him pushed out plat? I don't know if I like him pushed out plat like that. If he is going to stay pushed out plat, he needs to play an off angle or a weird corner that nobody's ever seen before and play off of Bruce or something. Or whoever was in the back. Who was in the back with him? Was it Bruce?
I think it was Ghosty. I think Dash was in the hill. Yeah.
Sorry, Ben. I think the watch together is tweaking.
It's glitching.
Right
yeah,
it's twerking, bro. It's twerking.
I'm trying to fast forward, but it's not getting distracted. I'm trying to get to another example. Pretty much where the game was right here was sort of at the end of this P1 here. Optic's going to go ahead and get this rotation, and they're instantly going to go dead. And this is pretty much it. I mean, Toronto was up at least one hill at this point. If you're Optic, you got to go hold here, get a break on P3. You never know, but instead, watch how this plays out.
Well, they just all died instantly.
They played
again.
P1 so heavy at 12 seconds, though.
I mean,
but they also just have the guy sitting in the red door watching the long cross with the sub. He's just the guy jumps around the corner, he loses the gunfight. They're just not putting themselves in good spots.
Right here, they already kind of lost it though before they even get Oh yeah, I mean, this is obviously weird too, but I mean,
yeah, they lost it, but at the same time, they can put themselves in better positions to kind of try to retain some space, even if they can't get full control. They're going for the full control play. It's we're gonna hold all the important crosses and not let them get through. Period. When that's just not sustainable at all.
And that was basically the map here. It goes on for another hill or two, but I mean, you get the point here. Toronto soundingly, and this is probably one of the stronger maps all year. I know they lost a couple of hotel hardpoints recently, but it's been kind of a bread and butter map for them. Optic did pick B in this series, so this was not their map pick. They actually picked the Surge. Any final thoughts on the first map?
Scrappy and
Scrappy.
Kleenex putting on a show.
Kleenex
honestly.
continued this too. He continued to pop off even in the control. He was going nuts.
Listen, I don't want to jump on this. I know you guys are gonna be like 2 games, but I personally don't think Ghosty's the fit for this team. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna be quoted saying it, so I can be proven right in a few months. I just think the guy's too big of a statue. I don't think he fits this team. The fact that Hugh is now the best player on this team just screams to me there's a problem.
This is Ant's take on the and he went on Twitter too. Ant kind of defended this, and it was basically making the same point. Pat, I don't know if you saw.
I did not. Let me go check Ant's Twitter out.
Because I know Ant's in the chat.
You're talking about Nameless, right? Not
yeah,
Shotzi?
Yeah, Nameless.
Right.
Nameless, my bad.
He's talking about Nameless,
yeah.
Nameless is talking about this, and I think we've talked more about, like, okay, you bring in Dan and you swap Illy, but there's still more fundamentals issues with the team. I agree with you. Like, they're not getting the best from Shotzi right now. You know, Bruce was playing good. Now he's playing kind of iffy. You could argue that Collar is probably right now.
He's not playing iffy. He's playing poor. Okay. That's not iffy. He's getting smoked right now. Like, statistically, he's getting smoked.
Let's read out Nameless's tweet. Nameless came out and said, "My rant was no disrespect to Ghosty. I just think he shouldn't have been brought to the team. He doesn't add anything to the roster when it comes to rotations, finesse, S&D prowess. I don't see the team functioning better in literally any aspect. In fact, that series was dust. They got to bring Illy back or find someone who will play Speed Devil so they at least can be on pace with each other and Dashi can mega base / slay where he's at his best." What do you think? Agree? Disagree? You guys agree with him? Disagree with him?
From the looks of it in matches, like I'm gonna say, like, yeah, you can agree in the matches, but at the end of the day, we don't know what their practice is like. Like, for all we know, these guys could just be coming out flat in matches. Granted, practice isn't the only thing that matters, but like, these guys probably know their issues a lot more than we do, and only time will tell. 2 matches, I don't think is enough of a sample size to make
it's too early.
These super wait. What are you talking about?
I would argue that why did they make the change? If your argument is like, oh well, they shouldn't make another change, but like, what was the point of the change in the first place?
Well, what do you mean? It's a build up. They
just got fourth. They played the best they had played ever in MW2.
Regardless, a couple of their teammates, obviously, they've been teaming with, let's say, Ender for a while. They already know the issues they have. They didn't seem like they felt like they probably couldn't improve upon those issues. It's obviously all internal.
Listen,
you're just looking at the face value, but like,
bro, I'm gonna say this, and I might not, I might be different. I might be cut from a different cloth, but I don't care if there are personal issues if results are happening. Period. If I'm getting results, personal issues don't matter. I could absolutely despise my teammate. I could hate them with a passion. I could hate how they do everything about their life. But if I go to a tournament and I place well and I make money and I get results, I don't care.
Then why did y'all drop play? Then why did y'all drop play on complexity? Then why'd you drop play on complexity?
Because I wanted to be a world champion, and I knew that picking up Damon was going to elevate my team.
That's not what it is. They didn't drop him because they didn't like him. Like, I'm sure they all still like Illy. That's not what it was. They literally dropped them because they thought in their minds that the issues they had as a team they could not fix with their current roster.
In game?
Yes, in game.
What? I'm calling cap.
I don't understand how they think Ghosty, who they didn't know anything about, would help fix that problem.
How is an amateur player who's never played a pro match in his life going to come into a professional team, not only the biggest team in the game, and just fix all their issues? That makes no sense.
Because at face value, if you look at Dan's stats and like the type of player that he is, they looked at that and they're like,
they looked at his challenger stats and made a decision.
Bro, there's no way they just looked at his stats.
Guys, I think, look, here's the thing.
I think you guys can't be serious.
No, that's what you just said.
I'm saying what he, dude. I'm saying his gameplay. They looked at his gameplay, his stats, what he's doing in challengers, and they've researched the type of player that he is, and they were like, okay, this can probably help us, because they felt that their current roster.
Who made that call?
They did, obviously.
Who is they? Who is they?
The team. Are you fried?
I need names.
Ben, let them go. Let them battle it out.
Bro, you are so faded right now.
I think this might have been some Shotzi DS cheese. Listen, Seth retired, raised out the pitcher. Shotzi's just like, oh wow, I see this guy snapping. Like he could really do some stuff to our team.
Yeah, that's what I think. Who made the decision?
That doesn't mean it's a good decision.
What do you mean it's as a team? Are you fried?
Bro, didn't you just say they asked you for input and you're the one who told them to pick up Ghosty? So clearly these guys did not just look at Ghosty.
They asked a lot of people, including myself.
Exactly. They didn't look at nobody. They had to go out and be like, yo, our team is in shambles for some reason.
They did research on the people. They didn't just say, like, oh, Aimless or Kagi says, let's pick up this guy. Let's pick him up.
If I'm making a roster change, bro, I'm not getting recommendations from other people for who we should pick up.
They
if
literally
you're saying they made the decision,
bro. They wanted to make a change.
They
wanted to make a change. They wanted to make a change. They didn't know where they should go with it. They asked multiple people for advice, did their research on the type of player that they wanted, and they found out that this guy would probably bring the best.
I think what you said was
I want to say
best.
something real quick.
You said they didn't know what they wanted. You're exactly right. And they shouldn't have been able to make this decision because they look like piss and they were solid with Illy. Go ahead, Ant. Take us away.
Go ahead,
bro, like when you get top 4 at a major, that is difficult to do. And so taking a risk like this, getting rid of a guy like Illy who's a champion. Bro, do you know what Illy would do if he went to Challengers? How he would look? That guy would be fucking frying.
He might look like Braun. No bullshit.
He would be
there.
absolutely frying.
Wait, I have no doubt that Illy would perform, but like to say that pros literally go back to Challengers and instantly be God is literally
I'm not
false.
saying he would instantly be God, but Illy would be frying in Challengers.
Yes, I think
Illy
Illy would do great. I think Illy would do great. That's not what I'm trying to say. Because there's this false narrative that a lot of pros would just drop down to Challengers and be God when it's literally not true. Because
well, it's the type of
there's
player
a lot
that
of
you
players.
are first,
there's a lot of players that have done that and gone fried.
Well, also the game is played different in Challengers, and I would argue, and like most pros do, much slower, a way different style of play.
No.
Wait, every player that came in,
it's way more hectic, bro.
Wait, yeah, not hectic, but like the plays you're making, everyone talks about how things are much faster in the pro league instantly.
Well, that's
every
what
player
Dan
I've heard.
Well, I think there's certain pro players
is what it is.
One at a time, guys. One at a time. Go ahead.
Certain pro players, based on their play style, if they went to Challengers, they would look like a lord. Like, for example, Paul X, if that guy went to Challengers, he would look like a god, like an absolute god down there. So, like, I think if you're just looking at stats and you're just watching a guy frying Challengers, like, then he's not going to come in and just fix your problems. It's not going to work.
Let's also not forget that Ghosty wasn't even their first pickup. Let's be clear here. They wanted Alec. Alec confirmed this on Twitter. It just couldn't happen. So clearly these guys were all over the place. To me, the only thing that screams the most is they wanted Illy gone. The Ghosty pickup was just a last, not a last minute, but it was back in their mind.
Their
minds, they wanted Illy gone, number one, and number two, they wanted other people
in their minds.
Ghosty.
They didn't feel like the problems they had, not internalized, that were personal, as in like, oh, they didn't like Ender. They didn't think what Ender was doing for their team and their system with Ender was going to make them win a championship. So they tried to find a replacement that they can incorporate to their system to elevate that.
That's just delusional.
People that are saying, I do not know, I know.
That's just delusional.
My reply to this
I'm not just making this shit up.
My reply to this is, and now it's getting criticized fairly. Those guys made a bad decision.
Yes.
And we've seen 2 games now. They cannot be trusted to be making these roster changes. And that's period. And that's the point. Like, bro, when you watch these
two
bro,
games,
I don't, dude, it doesn't matter, bro. Listen, the point is, and this is the whole point, at least from my perspective, is you just got top 4. We've all talked about it. We've all watched it over and over. They had the ability to go further in that tournament. Your baseline, your floor was already set. You're excellent at search and destroy. A couple things you need to work on with the SMGs, and then you bring in this guy, and now like you've thrown, it's a whole new team, bro. Hoop, Ghosty, whole new dynamic. Like Dashy's now thrown out off of his, like how he was frying the last couple of months. Like, bro, these guys are they risked it all, and it's literally not paying off.
All right, let's get back on track. Ben, I want you to get your word out. I'll let you have a chance to have the floor and say what you got to say. Go ahead.
So I'll start playing for the 5-2 here. Optic was actually a 5-2 and blew this map. As we watch it, I think you guys need to look at it one more different way. I think you're all kind of spitting facts. I think that one of the problems with this Illy move is the messaging around it. I don't think they ever made their case to the community of exactly why they made this change. If they had come out and said, hey guys, like the fit with Ender just wasn't good. We felt like even though we got top 4, Like we're going to get better on a daily basis. So we made this change with Dan. We know it's not going to probably fix everything, but it's a start. I think we've been having a different conversation. Instead, they made the change, and then Ant had to go out on fucking stream and like kind of explain why. And I don't think they really handled it.
That is
what
exactly
happened. What happened to just getting better? Like what happened to just like, yo, we got top 4. We didn't quite get there. Let's just figure it out. What happened to that? Because I just remember this guy was out for a season. He was injured.
Guys,
Wait,
hold on. Before anybody goes, let people speak, guys. Everybody calm down. Everybody take a deep breath. Let people talk so we can actually talk one at a time.
And they've been teaming with Illy for a while. They obviously know like what he's bringing to the team. I'm not defending Dan, by the way. I could give a fuck less who it is. I'm saying the reason they made the change is exactly what Ben said. And they've obviously been playing with Illy for a long time. So if they feel like whatever he's been doing for the team or the system that they had is not fixable, they're going to make a change regardless of who it is. Dan or some other fucking AR. Who cares? The point is, regardless if you guys are not high on Dan, I could care less. Or even if the fans are. The point is, 2 matches might not be a complete story to tell. These guys obviously scrim every day. They know their issues. If this continues as a trend for the entire split, then yes, you definitely have a case on your hand.
Whoa.
In fact, you have an actual fact.
Well,
right now,
it depends on the perspective you look at it from, though. If you look at it from they got top 4, then there's no case. It's already fact. You made a mistake, right? Unless you come into this next event and just absolutely go crazy and fry. It's like you're not getting as many points and you're starting from like a lower spot, right? And then like I think with like this Optic team, there's another perspective to look at it from where like instead of being so kind, it's like, bro, this team's in turmoil, bro. Like they literally dropped their coach, they dropped their star player, they picked him back up.
Player retired, of course.
Yeah, their player retired, and it was literally a free for all. And they're like, yo, we gotta drop Illy. Let's just fucking do something crazy. So they drop Illy and they find a challengers guy after most of the challengers players have been grabbed, a relatively like newer player. Like I don't know. I feel like these guys just are kind of frantically trying to make a move, and that's like the real story. There's no like crazy hidden shit that we don't know. Like we've seen all of it.
Let's put a pin in it. I think we're going to talk about more of this issue over the next 2 weeks. They have a very difficult schedule. I do want to talk about the series though, because we talk about the lack of discipline on the Optic side. They were up 5-2 in this series, and they did actually come kind of blow the lead. And you actually see the round 11 record here, which is now going to be 1-5 after this map, but. If you guys want to walk through this round 11 and kind of how Optic, unfortunately, did not close this map and went down 0-2. Or I mean, I could kind of walk through it. They tried, Austin, you kind of talk about sometimes on this map there's a lot of gambles. And in this situation, they tried sort of the P1 gamble, which wasn't a lane that most people were hitting through most of this map. It didn't actually end up working out for them. As
I got something to say here, Ben.
Yeah, go ahead.
What the hell are they doing? What is Optic doing? What is the strat? What is the play call? What is the goal? What is the objective here? Like, I just feel like they're just relying on people. Like, they're just like relying on Shotzzy to be Shotzzy and try and do something crazy.
I forgot.
When in reality, they should just do something together here. Like, I just feel like Shotzzy should not be pushing in here like by himself, like at all. Especially Rails, bro. Rails.
He's doing the Fortress special, bro. It's a gamble map.
And then Kyler tries to sneak through bottom middle door. He tries to crack open mid door by himself and just waltz through. Look, he just cracks it open. Boom, shot on the side. Like Toronto's just getting free kills. They're just getting free kills right now. I think this team's a good team, and I think they have a lot of talent. But bro, sometimes it just looks like they're just like making solo plays, man. Like I know it sounds like a breaking record, but
they're on defense. Also, they're on defense in this round. It's not like they're on offense trying to get Bloods to kind of open up a bomb plan. Like. You can kind of play retakes a little bit on this map, set up and try and get a pick. Instead, they're trying to just kind of like almost go for the.
Bro, that's right.
Wait, I forgot what match it was. You guys don't remember? I criticized the team for doing the same thing. They have a guy watching cross to A. There's no reason you should be flanking. That's not even it. You're watching the cross to A. There's no reason why you should be flanking yet because you don't even have the information that they're going to the bomb. Once they commit to the bomb and they cross to it, you know for a fact one guy's going to be planning. One guy's going to watch over him. So then that creates like space on those lanes where you can find a gap. They literally are hitting the flank blindly without any prior information.
Nobody was even looking at cross, I don't think.
No, they had it early, super in the round. Like they're you can watch it from you can watch the number 7.
Look P1 cross, and his whole team was P1.
Well, I'm saying in general, you could play off the cross. Number 8's playing close. He can see it. there's no reason why you should be flanking. You're potentially flanking into the entire roster before
And-
they even commit to a site.
And I don't mind taking risk in search. Like I like that they want to make plays, and granted it works for them sometimes. But there's like a right and wrong time to do it. You know, like around 11, especially when they were up 5-2, they're better off just slowing it down and trying to work something together. But I don't want them to like be so scared to make a play. Like, I'm not saying that at all. Like, I like that Shotzi has that confidence to want to do something, want to make a play, even if it is around 11.
Well, they almost saw the 2v4 comes to 2v2, by the way.
I know, because then
crazy.
Ultra trolled. Then Ultra was doing dumb shit, too. I didn't know what the hell Ultra was doing. They got the kills, and instead of just rotating it back and planting the bomb, they just started pushing out and just doing a lot of... They were just like, again, they were doing what Optic was doing. They got picked one by one instead of just using their numbers in a 4v2, getting the bomb down, and just having a basic setup. And when in the round, teams overcomplicate the hell out of this game mode. They overcomplicate it.
100%.
Well,
Wait.
you know who didn't overcomplicate on this map, by the way, and who had a great series was Kleenex. 6 first bloods from Kleenex. So take a look at the stats here, 12 and 8. But go ahead, Ann. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No, I
off.
was saying Tommy spin facts, bro. Their setup, dude, like if you just look at their setup, it was absolute dog shit. They sent Shotzi and Hook left side, and then Ghosty was sitting open watching the cross to P1 doing nothing, and they had nobody watching cross the bomb. Like that's just like you
Fortress
cannot
is
play.
so one-dimensional though. And
Yeah, it
it's
is
like,
one-dimensional. Yeah,
there's
you
no
either
reason
make
why
a
you
play
should
with
be
your
doing
daddy.
that. Yeah.
What I mean, you have to be looking across the bomb 100%, or you make play with your daddy going into maps, or you wait for them to jump the bomb and you just jump out and chow. Like if you don't set yourself up early in the round, you're setting yourself up for a fucking hectic end round.
Well,
So it's like-
speaking of hectic, we're going to skim through this last map because honestly it was a 3-0 kind of smoke show. Toronto ended up actually getting this first round.
I feel like Optic was checked after map
and
2.
then, and then I agreed. I mean, we're
They were
talking about the
checked
show.
after map 1.
Austin said after map 2 they were probably compromised, and like a
Nah,
lot of series
they would have been
say-
straight if they capitalized and tied it up at 1. They were up 5-2 in the
they're
search.
way better, but instead they get offense capped first round. I think Toronto's playing with a lot of confidence at this point. I think for Optic, they were kind of meeting their end. We can watch most of the map, or if you guys want, we can just kind of skip to the Scrappy interview because I want to spend some time watching that back because it's pretty funny.
This guy's hilarious, bro.
Yeah, we could tune into the Scrappy interview. I'm down to lock in. The control was again Ultra, just the slaying power. Kleenex does such a good job every time he plays this map, bro. I would love to know his stats on this map in particular. Just roaming bedroom, roaming couches and catwalk area, like all those close quarter fights. Like, man, this guy's an issue with the tissue, man, for sure. And I know, Pat, this is your guy right here, Pat.
An issue with the tissue?
A tissue with an issue. A tissue with an issue.
The tissue is the issue.
Oh, the tissue is the issue.
Yeah, he's just an issue on the map, Tom. I mean,
okay.
he was
Okay.
honestly. I hate saying this, but he was violating
Good
him.
try.
He was violating them all series long, Tom.
Yeah,
he had a really good series too. Okay,
Tom, you want to tune into the interview?
Yep, I'm gonna go to full camp so I don't leak the link. I'm gonna bump up the volume and let's get it going.
You good?
Yep, good.
A 3-0 at the end of this series. We got Scrap ready, and we got to talk to the man who said, on my side, Hixie and Scrap finding success 2 matches in a row. How we feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling great, man. You know, great addition in Charlie coming to the squad. I feel like he plays really well with Toby and lets Toby fly and do what Toby does. So it's a great addition to our team.
And to that point, who kind of made that decision? What was that like in Toronto Ultra Camp?
Oh, you know, it's just a bit of a team decision. You know, it sucks that we had to like make a roster change. It was fun playing with Eli. We had some really great ups, but we also had some low lows. So, you know, it was just something we needed to do.
Scrappy, I wanted to ask you about this series in particular. You really came out here and you were frying, right? It seemed like you had a chip on your shoulder. Did you feel like the Rookie of the Year matchup going up against Ghosty in this series, or was there an extra edge or extra fire you had going up against Optic?
Oh, yeah, I would say probably the edge is me going against Ant because that guy talks a lot. You know, he loves dolphin diving, but, you know, you can't just dolphin dive around this league, bro. You got to win a gunfight. And, no, there was nothing with Ghosty, bro. I knew that the guy was getting rinsed, bro. The guy defaults to the hill, and if he's not in the hill, he has no clue what's going on, so.
I wanted to ask about this matchup in particular. You lost to Optic in the last meeting online. When you went to land, you both got 3-0'd by LA Thieves. What is it like playing against this team, and do you feel that you have a good draw against them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love playing them. I've got some good friends on that team, and it's all friendly banter. But, you know, we always want to beat each other. But, yeah, it's just I don't really know, bro. It's just slamming them is fun.
It looked good today. I'll let you guys go celebrate. We're excited to see you again in your third
that's
match
the
a little
interview,
bit.
Tom. If you wanna...
Yep, you're good. I muted it.
Yeah, any final thoughts on the series, gentlemen? before we move on?
I'm good.
No final thoughts at all. I thought Toronto Ultra looked great. I know we're talking about Optic and some of the mistakes that they were making on the map. I still think Optic needs more time. I'm kind of on Chris's side here. I just feel like it's just 2 series. Like, it's early. I think Dan Ghosty's a good player. I am leaning more to – I am worried a little bit about maybe the play styles. Chris, I'm echoing through your mic like crazy, by the way.
Is that me?
It's you or Ben.
You or Ben, one of you guys. I am a little worried about a playstyle thing. Jesus Christ, Ben, I gotta mute you, Ben. I gotta mute you, bro. I'm sorry. There you go. I am a little worried about Ghosty just because I feel like, bro, is this guy serious? Ben, are you dead ass? Ben, mute your mic. Jesus. Thought this guy was I thought he was an executive producer.
What happened?
Oh my
God.
I still echoing. Hold on.
Just mute. Hello?
This guy needs to get out of here, bro. Listen, back to what I was saying. I do worry about a playstyle thing because I do think Illy brought that pace. When you had XEO and you had all those guys running around the map, it's just hard to deal with those guys. They're a hard team to play against. But now with Ghosty, it's different playstyles. I do agree with Scrappy. He does default to the hill a lot. I think maybe if he plays a little bit more selfishly, when you watch Ghosty play, you could tell he has talent. I just think he needs to be a little bit more selfish, especially at this level. Don't be afraid to push out a cut or play weird positions and not always have to default to the hill. You know, there's a lot of people on it. There's 3 other guys on the team that can get in the hill. There's certain situations where you just need to hold, play selfish, kill whore, get some kills, and really show people what you could do, you know, let that talent shine. So I think he needs to get a little bit more comfortable. I think it's pretty early, but we'll see what happens with Optic Texas moving on. I want to see him do well, but Ben, Ben, you know how to mute a mic or what, bro?
No. We figured out apparently.
That was my bad.
Austin put the headset next to the mic and went to the bathroom. That's why I was echoing. But let's move on to the last series of the day.
That's my bad, boys.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Last series of the day. LAG Boston. LAG won the coin flip and picked Team A. I got the vetoes on the screen. We have a Hydro Hardpoint, Hotos, and Asilo controls as far as we got. The last 2 maps were Fortress and Asilo. Vetoes on your screen. Any thoughts before we hop into the map 1?
No, I thought this series was an absolute snooze, and I thought Boston smoked the fuck out of LAG, dude. LAG looked like they didn't even want to play. Jodeci's looked like he was falling asleep on a camera. Like, yeah, bro, I'm sorry, bro, but when you're playing at the highest level, bro,
this is a good take.
Can I get some fucking energy from these guys? Like, bro, get hyped up, get some fist bumps in.
Like, what are we doing?
Get something going. They look like they're half asleep. They look like they're passing out.
They gotta be rightfully though. They gotta be checked, bro.
No, they're checked. Yeah, they know that. They know their contract is expiring,
bro.
Yeah, but not until the end of First off,
what do you mean? The end of the season is 4 months away.
Go ahead, Austin.
You can't think like that though as a player, especially.
Austin, I'm not saying you can't.
Austin, you can't.
But not everybody is built like us. That's
we're
the
not
thing.
everyone's cut from the same cloth. That's
exactly.
true.
Right, you gotta go out there
fighting for your career. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you're on the worst team in the league. Like,
it don't matter.
Okay, I was on a team last year. I didn't like the situation I was in, but like, I'm not just gonna sit there and roll over and give up.
Yeah, everyone's not Thanos though, bro.
Okay, but like that's the mentality you should have.
Is that what you wanted to hear, bro?
No, I'm not even trying to make it about myself. Like, I'm just saying as an example. Like, you're gonna catch yourself in like situations you're not gonna want to be a part of, but you still have to make the best of it, because then that'll create opportunities down the road.
Speaking of situations you don't want to be a part of, watch. So I don't think this was a swing in the map, but bro, look at this that Boston gets in this situation. We're just spawn the pinch spawning in the hill. How'd you one of those funky maps again with the sticky spawns? You wanted me to go back and pull this up. Austin, you saw they got that fucking
spawns.
White time spawn.
Yeah.
Wait, which spawn?
Yeah.
Rewind.
I'm pretty sure it was like a P3 here where they just spawned out on them, right?
Yes. So what Tommy talking in the background, but it's all good. You're gonna see that one player in LG number 2.
Look at that.
Spawn in the back of all of them. 2 guys are going to go ahead and spawn new. And he gives Boston
a free break.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I need a slow-mo. Wait, I need a slow-mo.
Wait, I think is it because the new hill pops and like he dies and he spawns out old, right? Because the old hill and the new hill pops, so they spawn there. That makes sense.
I need to see it.
If the new hill pops, that makes sense. If it doesn't, that is dust.
That's what I'm saying. I need to see it in real time or like slow-mo, bro.
Please.
Also, Ben, chill out, bro. They were measuring my reach because I'm about to let it sing, baby. I'm about to let it sing.
Pause it
in a second.
I don't know how on his fucking setup.
Wait, T, lock in. Look at this. This spawn is ridiculous.
I know. It's Hydro Hardpoint.
You're gonna slow it down?
But it might make sense.
Is there a way to slow it down?
Yeah, you can slow it down, but you can just watch it. You'll see.
I can't really slow it down.
I just need to see the timing.
Just let it play out.
Okay.
Just let it play out.
Okay, I'm watching.
What the? What
Well,
the?
I'm delayed.
That is
Hold on.
unacceptable.
Wait, Spawn's there yet?
What
Number two
the
Spawn
hell
makes
was
sense?
that?
Wait, and then
Wait,
oh
where-
no, that makes no sense. That actually
That
makes
is
no
Go, wait,
sense.
go,
unacceptable,
wait,
bro.
one more time. One more time.
Yeah, I thought New Hill popped, but
One more
it
time, because I
didn't,
was looking at the
so-
left side of the screen. Now I need to look at the right side of the menu.
No,
map.
that's dust, bro.
Hold on.
I'd be infuriated.
Pause, champ.
It somewhat makes sense. Somewhat.
Whoa! No, it does not.
No, it doesn't.
That is
If
No,
New
it
Hill-
was-
if
Because
New
they weren't
Hill
blocking.
popped,
They
it
weren't
would.
blocking. They weren't blocking like initially.
No,
There
the
was
guy
a- there was a
spawning
guy
in the
spawning
back
in the hill,
of
though.
wait, the guy spawning in the back of P2 is fine.
No,
it's
that's
the rest
unreadable,
of
yeah.
them. No, it's the rest of them. The ones that are spawning on P3 should not be
Yeah,
spawning.
that's
They shouldn't be
that's
spawning.
It's
Yeah, the
unreadable.
back spawns was normal. The spawns at new made no sense. Like they should.
They should have all spawned in the back.
If New Hill popped, I thought that would have made sense for them to spawn back there because they were still pushed up, but it didn't. And that in number 2 would have been blocking, but it didn't pop. So it literally looks like the game just didn't register that like New Hill wasn't there
But that's
yet.
not even like a normal spawn point. Usually you spawn towards the front end of the
That is
P3 or you
ass.
spawn P5. Like they spawn like right outside of the door on the pipes.
I would be infuriated if I rewatched the series and seen that.
Yeah, that is actually fucking absurd.
I would be
So-
infuriated.
Regardless of all that, this is actually a close map after the first rotation. But number 8, you're going to see Nero make a really good play. And this is basically the swing in this map. Nero's going to actually end up helping them flip for next hill. And then Boston's going to start to run away with this map after this one. I'll let Devod take it away from here.
Yeah, no, Boston definitely ran away with it. I thought Beans played really well. It's good to see Beans kicking up because he struggled when he first came in, but I think he's getting a little bit more comfortable now. And he likes to chap a little bit too. He likes to talk that shit. So, it's always cool to see some of these young guys coming in and doing their thing. They're looking to get Toronto. That was crazy. That hip fire kill from Vivid right there. I was freaking out when that happened.
Good lord.
Also sitting there saying Vaznev OP, but but that was crazy. That was actually ridiculous. But yeah, no, I thought Boston played good. I love the pace that Boston plays at, man. They're one of those teams that just plays at such a lightning fast pace that if they're on point, they're gonna be a hard team to beat. The only thing I worry about with Boston is consistency. If they're gonna keep playing at this pace, they just need to make sure that they're staying disciplined and staying true to the fundamentals. And I think this team could go a long way. I actually think really highly of this Boston team. I don't know what you guys think.
They're nasty,
Yeah, I mean,
bro.
I agree.
I'm a
I
fan
agree
of the
with-
change.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Beans, it gives them a new dimension. I think they're starting to kind of line up in shape. The only thing with Boston, I'll say, is we take a look at the scoreboard here. 250 to 188 was the score. We had MC on. He actually predicted 250 to 180, so he was slightly off with that one. The only thing I'll say about Boston is, look, I think we're going to keep gassing them online. They did go, 5-0 last split online, even with Zenny. It's going to come down to, can they replicate this over 3 days online, especially on the winners? Can they play the same way they do on Thursday, do on Saturday and Sunday so far this year and last year as well? They were not able to do so. You went 3-2 last split. Okay.
Who are their matches they played so
They're
far?
gonna go
They played
5-0, bro.
They played against Ravens and Gorillas. Is that it?
Yeah, Ravens.
They have an
Gorillas.
easy schedule.
No, they have
They have
3
an
wins.
easy
They're
schedule.
3-0 so
Okay,
far.
okay. Who's the other match? Toronto. Oh yeah,
Toronto.
Yeah,
I went
Toronto.
through
Change.
before the
Yeah,
change.
I mean, them being Toronto was a good sign. They played 2 pretty easy, not easy teams, but you get the point. Like they're just not doing too hot in general. I'm interested to see like when they play like a New York Subliners, Faze, those
Well,
guys.
they have
But I mean,
Thieves at the end of this.
Thieves, yeah, they look good right now though. And I mean, I'm definitely a fan of the change. I mean, we said this whenever Zinni was retiring. I thought they were going to get better, and so far, at least they got a map 5 under their belt. It's nothing but good signs for the Boston camp so far.
Yep, I like even in the S&D. They're always they're always moving around. They're never like just standing still. Or I don't know. There was one round where Big Wake just wasn't planting the bomb. It literally aggravated me. But I like how Boston was playing this. They're not scared to make a play, and I feel like they were actually taking some smart routes, breaking some ankles in this first round. A lot of teams are doing that now. They show B, they make a lot of noise, they'll get like a kill, and then they'll rotate back to A to catch teams on their toes a little bit. It's a good play, honestly, breaking ankles and keeping teams guessing on where you're going. I think Big Wake gets a kill, almost gets 2 there. But, yeah, Boston, honestly, I thought they made LAG look like light work today, to be honest with you. I thought it was a pretty easy series from them. Anything on the LAG side that you guys think they got to work on or something they gotta fix? Or, I mean, what's going on with these guys?
I don't know what these guys are doing. Like they start off like looking like pretty decent, like they've improved, but it seems like they've regressed. I don't know if these guys have just been losing full or there's some internal shit going on, but they just look so bad. now. Like they don't look as competitive at all.
I had them winning coming into this series. I actually really like this LG roster. Yeah, if you look at their match versus Boston, it was a 3-0. Boston won right at the major, but it was super close maps. And like with LAG in their last series, even versus Optic, I thought Exceed played like exceptionally well. Jodeci's had a little bit of a slow start, but like generally they always look pretty competent across the game modes. And I thought that with this week they would have put it together and like
I think Exceed has
figured
been
it out.
playing really poor outside of that match.
No, in that series, yeah, I thought he was going to get it going, and they were going to keep it rolling to this one. And they've been on such a cold spell in Hardpoint. They start off 8-2 and are 1-6 in the last 7. Now it'd be 1-7. So it's like, I don't know. I thought that they were going to put it together today. I thought it was a solid roster.
I think these guys are checked mentally, bro.
Yeah, I think after this series, though, my opinion has completely changed.
Form.
I think what happened to them is, bro, they were one of those teams. I think after their performance at the major, I don't know if they dwelled on it too much or the practice was bad after, but I think they're in kind of a little bit of a low spot. The team now, it can go two directions. Do they not recover from this? And after it's major, they're making another change, or can they learn the right lessons from this series, from this 3-0, and kick it on from there, like we've seen teams like Rocker do this season?
And
I think these guys are just in a dry spell, bro. Like if they want to they got to get one on the board. Just like they just got to get like some like they got to beat somebody, and they win that match, they might get some confidence under their belt. But right now, I just think they have zero confidence as a team that they're gonna win like these series.
Well, I agree with you. I'm kind of skimming through the VOD guys because we're trying to move quick because there's not really that much to talk about in this map. I think Boston always pretty clinical on Hotel Hardpoint. This has become a bread and butter with them. With Beans, I think he does a really good job kind of being the anchor player on defense. And I also think that both Reese and Nero are really good at reading plays to make on offense. They're really good at getting first bloods. I think it plays to the best strengths of this team in terms of what they can do in search game mode. So pretty clean hold for them here. You know, there's not really much LAG can do. They're a little bit too slow.
They were too slow to hold us, indeed. There was a couple rounds where they just take forever to make a play. They just stand around too much.
That was bad. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought Boston was just a step ahead of them. And yeah, apologies. You know, we do have to end the show in about like 10-15 minutes. I mean, we are getting towards the end of the show. We're lucky that it was 3-3-0s because today was a quick day. Probably one of the quickest days.
Bro, watch that
CDL
180,
history.
bro. That 360 actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the when it came out of the break and hold up just a second.
Pat, are you good? Did you pass out over there? You fell asleep or what?
I fell asleep, Tom, and I'm gonna tell you why. To me, this is embarrassing.
Well, it's 180 is embarrassing right here. Watch this shit, bro.
This is a crazy kill.
I'm watching it.
No aim. He probably got no aim assist though. Let's be honest.
Wait,
who
was that on? Who was that on?
Yo, that guy got smoked. He's checked.
Wait, can we back that up? Who was that on, Ben?
He's gonna play. I'll give it a second.
What the fuck, Hydro?
I think we can see the kill feed.
I think it was on Alec.
Yeah, it was on Alec. But I don't think he got aim assist. You guys are dragging it, bro. Shooting through those rails is a mess.
Damn, guard should have let him go.
Nah, in this game, if you're trying to shoot through rails, good fucking luck, man. Like rails and like the fucking metal fences on Estilo, like it's fucking chalked. And then we'll kind of get to the control here. And this one was a quick 3-0. So I guess as we kind of go through this third map pretty quickly here, guys, any final thoughts on the series? Any final thoughts on either of these two teams as we head into the second day of matches?
No, I think LAG needs more passion. I think they need more energy. I think they need to snap out of it. They're a top 12 team in the CDL. They're obviously here for a reason. If you're on a CDL team, you gotta come with it every day, man. Every day you gotta play like it's your last, you know. And sometimes I feel like players just go through the motions, and it pisses me off, especially being somebody who's been there before and know how much it takes to actually win, especially in the league now and all the competition. I just want to see more for them. I want to see more energy. I want to see more passion.
I would honestly argue that their spots have never been safer, at least for this season. I mean,
that's true. They might not make it. No, that's not true.
Their spots in the CDO have never been safer. There's no way.
You might not be wrong,
there's no one in this org to even call another team to make a change. Like, there's no one to sign a contract.
And guys, but when I say top 12, because there's people in the chat like, what? So they're this and that. Like, no, that's not what I mean. I'm saying there's 12 teams in the league. These are the 12 best teams in the world. Is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm not trying to say that they're like number 12 or anything like that. I'm just saying when you're at this level, there's only 48 players in this league. That is a very, very, very
Honestly,
small
nothing's
percentage.
working anymore for these guys. So they just gotta start kill whoring.
I was just gonna say they need to play for longevity though, Pat, not just the rest of the season, especially the younger players. I mean,
right? I agree with you, but I mean, arguably, was anyone picking up Adam McSeed and Joe Deceives if it wasn't for this LAG squad?
No,
Not-
probably not. But like,
yeah.
if they do overperform or play well, they'll have more opportunities in the future. So
Yeah,
I agree, guys. But let's move on. Fun day of matches. 3 3-0s. You have 4 matches tomorrow. Will we get 4 3-0s? Unlikely. We'll go ahead and do predictions. I'm gonna read off a match. I'll give my prediction, and I'll go top to bottom. So we're gonna start off with New York versus Toronto to kick things off. Usually get some kind of like matches to start off the day, but this one's an actual heater. Both teams in good form. Honestly, New York looks vastly improved in search, and I think this one could go the distance. So I got New York 3-2. Tom, let's take it with you next for a prediction.
I got Ultra 3-2. I think they looked really good today. I think they're going to ride off that momentum, ride off that confidence. I'm going to go with Ultra. Pat, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going Ultra, Tom. I mean, I think New York's great, but Ultra's on that bounce back, and if we can get another series like that out of the Scrappy and Kleenex duo, it's going to be tough to beat, even if Hydra's on form.
Chris, who you got?
See, just like Ultra, man, New York's on that bounce back after their disappointing major performance.
But they've already been bouncing back. They've been frying.
That's what I'm saying. Hydra's a different breed, bro. I played some rank play with him last night. He won me over, man. He's a good fucking dude, really good player. I got New York.
Alrighty.
Let's move on to the next series at 4:30 East Coast time. We're gonna have Seattle Surge versus LA Thieves. Both teams coming in decent form. Thieves went 1-1. Seattle 1-0 last week, and finally won a search online. Not really sure who to pick in the series, to be honest. I've been going back and forth a lot. If Seattle
from your channel
plays really good in this series, like I could see this being like a weird 3-0, 3-1 for Seattle. But if they're kind of iffy in the searches, I could see Thieves taking this game 5. I'm going to say it's a distant series, so I'll go with the more sort of team that's got a little bit more ice, which could be LA Thieves, and Seattle's won a game 5. I think they won 1 game 5 this year, right? 1 or 2. So I'm going to go with LA Thieves in a game 5.
I'm going to go with LA Thieves. I think as the year goes on, they're just going to get better and better, kind of like the Vanguard season. I feel like they just have a really good culture over there. And I feel like those guys, they get along well. They're all super talented. I feel like every time we watch them, we're always impressed with their comms and the way they work as a team. So I think they're going to whittle out Seattle Surge and edge them out. I think it's going to be a 3-1 LA Thieves. Pat, who do you got?
This is a tough one. This is a tough one, Tom. I'm going to go with Thieves, but listen, I need Pred and Mac to fry this series.
Need it for your fantasy team?
Yeah, if they can fry, my fantasy's looking money. But yeah, I see Thieves taking it home.
I'm trying to go back to back. Chris, you're up next.
I wasn't going to pick Surge in any match until they won Search and Destroy. They finally won a Search and Destroy. So I'm going to go with my word here. I'm going to pick Seattle to beat the Thieves.
And like that comment in chat, Austin, do you want to comment on any of these series?
No, I'm okay on predictions.
Yeah, I usually don't let the players predict because, Juju. And then we got Boston Breach going up against Florida. I think Boston's playing at a good pace. Florida's kind of in limbo right now. I really think Florida, they need to find something. Something's just not clicking with that team right now. I'm hoping that they look different tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm going to go 3-1 Boston. Ben, who do you got?
3-0 Boston. DoorDash challenge unders are going to hit in this one.
All right. Pat, what do you got?
Jesus. Yeah, Boston. I've same feelings about the Mutineers. I just no faith.
Chris?
Got Boston, man. It's an easy call.
And then we got Atlanta Faze going up against the Vegas Legion. I just think Faze look too strong right now. Vegas, they've had signs of, they've had some ups, they've had some downs. They've been kind of, middle of the pack for me. I'm personally going to go with Faze in this one. I'm going to call it 3-0, actually. I think Faze is going to come out and take care of business. Pat, what do you got?
Faze all day. 3. Oh, man. 3-1. If Turo has a good map, I think Legion can get one.
Okay. Ben?
I got Faze 3-1 because Vegas actually looked decent at hotel control, and that might be the map they're probably going to take in the series because I don't think they're going to play you guys on Steely. You don't have to comment on that one. So I think Faze 3-1, but I think it's a pretty comfortable 3-1 outside of one of those maps.
Cool. And Chris, who do you got?
I got Faze. I think this goes last map. I think both teams in Search and Destroy are good enough to take maps off each other, and I don't know. I could see this stretching out. So.
Yeah, we got some good matches tomorrow. 4 matches. I want to thank Slasher for coming on. Austin, thank you so much.
Thanks
for having me. Appreciate you. Thank you. It's always a pleasure having you on. Shout out to Nameless for coming on as well. And as always, man, we hope you enjoyed. I know today's matches were boring as hell, but I hope you guys enjoyed the episode.
We'll have a putter for the next show. Tyler Abizi is bringing his putter tomorrow, so
we'll
be able to hit putts on the show on Saturday and Sunday. Tom, you do the outro from here, brother.
Yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Anchor.fm/theflank to check out all the audio sites that we're on. And go follow at the Flank on Twitter. Guys doing a phenomenal job running socials. Shout out to Benjay Nassim as well for running VOD today and coming up clutch. I've been very busy today. I've been talking about this day for the last couple of weeks. I knew it was going to be a hectic day, so Benjay Nassim came through and helped his duo out. So shout out to my man Ben. Get some wins in the chat. And as always, man, I love you guys so much. Take care. Brush your hair. We'll see you guys next time on another episode of The Flank, man. Take it easy.
Peace.
Later.
Later.